Whoa, NXT Takeover in Your House is coming up. I'm going to start this real radio like. We're going to take some callers here in a few moments. How you doing, Matt?
Got a real college radio vibe about it.
It
Good,
kind of feels
good,
like
good,
that's
good.
the right feeling though. That's the kind of I mean, that's what the 90s graphics are. It feels like we should be doing some kind of college radio thing right now. And I mean, this is essentially what that is anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. That's what Zencaster is. It's the new college radio.
We've got the show at like 4 a.m. that like a couple people listen to that are up for
All,
whatever weird reason.
all of them overseas too, apparently, according to our analytics. We got one guy in Alabama, and the rest of them are overseas.
Is there for some reason everyone's running their stuff through a VPN or something, or like they think we're like revealing some kind of secrets of like we got some kind of coded message in here? But no, it's just about wrestling. That's all we're talking about.
I mean, sometimes I do have inside information, but due to HIPAA regulations, I cannot share it. So,
Oh wow. Well, moving on. Let's just talk about NXT this week. Let's forget about main roster, forget about AEW, Impact. Although Impact has a championship match with Moose coming up, but that's for some other time that we'll talk about. Let's just talk about NXT and leading into NXT Takeover. I think one thing with Cameron Grimes, man, like I was just trying to look at it, sit back and look at it as objectively as like, what would I be thinking if this is the first time I've turned this on and I see this goofy guy coming to the ring next to LA Knight who looks cool,
he,
like he
he
does look
looks like
cool.
$1 million at all
Yeah.
times. Even in the
And he
dumb jackets, he looks like $1 million.
and you get this promo with $1 Million Man, and again, if you're coming in watching the first time, it's like, whoa, I remember this guy. Like that's kind of cool. May even remember the $1 Million Man's or the $1 Million Championship, and you know, as goofy as Cameron Grimes is, like that was like a kind of almost like revival level promo, like that he did. Like the way he puts like I don't want to be cliche here, but like 110% into his promos, man. It's just like it's another level.
There, I don't like overusing the word, and thankfully, there's not enough people that qualify that I feel like I use it too much. But I used it last week for Rick Boogs, and Cameron Grimes. If nothing else, the one thing he is electric. Everything
Yeah.
that comes out of his mouth, every move he makes, he sees it in his head before he does it. Like you can tell that he knows exactly how to do every part of his job, and he sucks you in, man. He's electrifying. It's
Yeah.
he's on a completely other level in NXT right now, which has an astounding roster. You are drawn to the guy that does not look like a wrestler. He
Yeah.
looks like he should be up the street from me brewing moonshine in his shed. So he's one of those rare few that really just has every detail worked out to the point where if he goes to the main roster and gets wasted, they have just completely botched it because he can sell himself.
Yeah. I mean, in a way, and we'll talk about Ellsworth and the fact that like, maybe he was talking to some underage women. I don't want to get into that, but that guy was a small guy and he wrestled like shit as well. But like, he was able to get over on his a weird combination of things. And Cameron Grimes is like 5,000 times better than that. So like, I do actually feel like pretty optimistic that Vince wouldn't fuck that up.
Yeah,
So,
I mean a guy that can just go out and cut promos. It at,
mm,
at the end of the day, you've got all these guys that get cut, and they're not guys that can make Vince type promos work. And Cameron Grimes can make anything work. He can save a room from the edge of everybody inside being arrested because what's
Yeah.
his nuts is a dipshit. Um,
Callahan.
yeah,
He kills people, not crowds. Oh man. I forget what he said about Jeff Cobb, but I always remember what he said about Eddie Kingston. Oh man. I'll have to see if I can find that clip somewhere because the amount of times we reference it, we should put it in the show notes one of these
yeah,
weeks.
absolutely. And
Yeah,
since it was inside the last 10 years, so
yeah,
every second of that show is on the internet somewhere.
yeah. Um, so we had several returns, most notably. Um, I'm Poppy. I'm going to release some music today. It's just yeah, which led us to another return.
Yeah, you get Io Shirai comes back. I don't know what the point of a reveal this week was because she has no bearing on the pay per view at
Mm,
all. She's not in any of these matches. She didn't get thrown into some weird last minute triple threat scenario or anything.
yeah.
Um, so that probably could have waited until next week. Um, I don't understand this Poppy thing. Like,
Yeah.
is that one of Triple H's kids? Like, or is it like some wrestler that died's daughter and he feels like he's got to help take care of her or something? I I mean that music's got to be for somebody. We know a guy that probably listens to Poppy. Um,
Yeah.
it's
You'll
not for
probably
me.
fly to another country to go see Poppy and then
I
listen to our podcast and get us a weird, like, Swedish
That's where all
listen. And
the
we're like wondering,
international fans come from.
world traveler.
The
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
I got really pissed when they changed that utterly perfect Slipknot song as the main theme. Um,
Yeah.
I loved it. It fits so well with everything NXT was trying to be. Um, but I guess Poppy works for Ed Hardy NXT.
Yeah.
Whatever. Um, yeah, that was a little strange, but and Poppy when she like performs on the shows, like she's got a ton of charisma, but when they
Mm.
have her just kind of talk, she really does. She like clams up and like, yeah, I just push the button and then my new music is on Spotify.
Oh man. Yeah. I don't know. I guess she's internet famous, kind of. And
Maybe.
she had some weird cult thing on cult following on YouTube, and that's just kind of how she came about. But
Okay,
Poppy's
so
described herself as a kawaii Barbie child, which kind of makes sense in
so
the
it's
way that phrase can make sense.
it literally is something that came up on sponsored ads on Triple H's Pandora while he was in the gym. Okay, now it's making more sense. But
Oh.
I don't understand what the point in bringing EO back this week was when you could wait till next week and I don't know. It was weird.
Or
You
even
can't
just wait for the pay-per-view and just be like, at the end of a match, you can be like,
yeah, just
come
have
out at
her
the
like
top of the
jump
ramp.
off the top of the house and like
Yeah.
like take Mercedes Martinez out at the top of the ramp. That's fine.
uh, well, I think let's just move on to the card now. Like, what do we got?
All right. Our opening match, most likely, will be the debuting Zia Lee versus Mercedes Martinez. Um, I'm a little confused with the Martinez booking.
Hmm.
She is an utter badass, but they just keep booking her into corners where she can't get wins.
Yeah.
So it's a little strange. I mean, you're not going to have Zia Lee lose in her first match, especially with as much build as it's gotten, or as Sean Reuter on Cage Side puts it, Mercedes is the ultimate badass, but what are you going to do when a 1,000-year-old princess trained by a dragon tells the student she torture trained to kick your ass? So yeah, I guess
Well,
I got to go with the debuting Zia Lee here. It's probably Zaya.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm doing the best I can
Uh,
with it reading it.
so I think the only thing I'm at least hoping for is Mercedes puts on a clinic and we get a kind of match like we've seen with like Serena Deeb and type thing where we'd be like, oh, this veteran is completely awesome. Like everyone gets reminded of that. But yeah, I think the debut is going to win. I'm not even going to try to attempt to say her name because I without hearing a phonetic guide or something first.
It's one of those that it's kind of like it's one or the other. So I know I
Yeah,
didn't completely butcher it, and it's not something she hasn't heard a million times. So
yeah.
I'm okay with that.
All right, what we got next?
It looks like after that we're going to move into the $1 million ladder match, which is I don't think I've been this excited about anything in a long time. Everything about the build to this has just been just perfect. I and honestly, I don't want either guy to actually win. I want some weird shit where they like both fall off the ladder holding the belt to go down, and then they become the $1 million tag team. Because these guys, like LA Knight is great on the microphone. Cameron Grimes, electrifying. Those two guys together could run the fucking wrestling world. Like
Yeah,
I don't know how. If I had to pick a winner, obviously I want Cameron Grimes, but I think I do. It's a real rare thing for me to want some kind of dusty finish, but I want a damn dusty
yeah.
finish here.
It's just crazy, man. Too like the last time we really saw the $1 million championship, it was put on the ringmaster. It might have been on someone else beyond that, but it was put on the ringmaster, and like that version of Stone Cold is, I mean, Steve Austin is the most bland, boring version, and then now like both options are very like the complete opposite of that.
Yeah.
Like, which is kind of crazy, which is great. I'm gonna go with Cameron Grimes here. Like, as much as I like LA Knight, I feel like he can recover, and Cameron Grimes could be absolutely obnoxious with that belt, like the most obnoxious you can be.
It's got
So
the same feel about it as giving MJF the dynamite ring. Like
yeah,
I can see it going that far. Um,
yeah.
all right,
I
we've
can't
got
wait. Also, I can't wait for commentary to talk about all the gold plated ladders when it's clearly just cheap gold paint. But whatever, let's move on.
and you'll watch like as they fight on it, you'll see all the gold start to flake off.
Yeah.
It's not even that gold paint; it's that like gold shit that you just rub onto it.
Yeah.
Um, we got a weird one here. I think they really struggled to keep this thing at 5 matches, which is their kind of their takeover standard.
Yeah.
But we have Bronson Reed teaming up with MSK against Legado del
Oh
Fantasma
yeah.
in a winner takes all match, where if Legado del Fantasma were to win, uh, they will become Santos Escobar will become the North American champion, and the rest of Legado del Fantasma will become the new tag team champions. It's a
Yeah.
weird. It's one of those weird matches where like nobody really wins here because then you gotta wonder about the Legado del Fantasma guys. Are they gonna get pissed off that they have to take tag belts and he gets to take the singles title? Like they
Yeah.
seem like a pretty well oiled machine, so you don't really have to worry about that. But um, as much as I like seeing Bronson Reed get that belt, I'm cool with giving it to Legado del Fantasma here.
I'm gonna stick with Bronson Reed, even though I thought his little promo or his reference to uh oh man, you just said it, main guy in Delgado um,
Escobar.
Escobar. Yeah, he referenced that. Oh, he might have shit his pants when he like when he collided against him in the corner there or against the barricade. That was weird, but I'm gonna stick with Bronson Reed and the reigning tag team champions of PWG, which came back from the dead this week. But of course, obviously, they're not. Those tag titles are going to be vacated. MSK. So,
I think I'm leaning towards Legado del Fantasma here solely for the reason that I don't see MSK ever getting over as faces. I think they need to take a loss. They need to start doing some heel shit. They need to get themselves over that way. I mean, they're cool as hell in the ring, but I
yeah,
don't. There's something about their look. I don't think a crowd is ever really going to latch on to them while they're playing the childhood dream card. I need them to start raking eyes. I need them to start pulling guys out of the ring and stuff. Basically, I need them to turn into every other heel tag team. Be
yeah,
what the Usos were for 6 months. I mean, that then get the crowd behind them because they're great, and it sucks to not see the crowd react real well to them.
yeah. I know, I agree there because like they worked better in PWG when they were also heels, or at least they were heels to me. I think there were some kind of tweeners really in PWG, and maybe no one's really a heel or a face in PWG. I don't know. Uh,
Well, they were on that one card that we went to where Joey Janela tried to kill Darby Allin. I think was the night that I saw them.
when when in this is there not a match with Darby Allin where it doesn't seem like someone's about to kill Darby Allin?
Yeah, I think this was the pile driver off the balcony through a table,
Yeah,
and I
it
just
was.
assumed he was dead. But they just come across as like stoned. They don't give two shits about anybody, guys, and it
Yeah,
works. It's just the right amount of like heelish vibe without being like full blown heels that worked for me. And this I don't necessarily think that all the pre championship winning the Dusty Cup and I mean basically coming into NXT sweeping the Dusty Cup and still not getting beat by anybody is doing anybody any favors.
yeah.
We only seem to get behind debut and kick somebody's ass and then go forever without losing to anybody for the female Asian imports because that just seems to be the script for them when they get their first win.
I mean, it honestly started with Asuka. Like Asuka didn't lose for the longest time.
And
That
then
NXT
Io
championship.
took over, and I mean Ember Moon in the middle there. Poor Ember Moon. I think she had the belt for like 6 weeks, and that was it. You
Well,
beat the
speaking of the, uh,
you beat the lady that held the belt for what, a year and a half, and then like 6 weeks later, somebody kicks the crap out of you. Somebody that had already lost to Asuka like 15 times. Like
well, I think also wasn't it too like Amber got hot shotted up to the main roster kind of as well.
she
That's
did.
why
It,
her
it
reign
was
was
it
so
was
short.
one of those situations.
So, if anything, it might say that Vince doesn't want some of these women, so they just stay in NXT forever. So that's another reason why they maybe hold on to those championships. I don't know. But well, let's talk about that women's championship match. It got a little extra convoluted as well this week. What we got?
We are getting Ember Moon versus Raquel Gonzalez for the NXT Women's Championship.
For some reason, I thought a third person was added there. And am I wrong there?
Let me see when this is dated.
Or
No,
maybe I read a rumor that they were adding a third person, and then maybe that didn't come
Cage
true.
Side put this up this morning, so
Yeah,
I mean they could still potentially, quick rush Io into a triple threat match here. I think it's definitely in the realm of possibility
yeah.
that they Charlotte Flair Booker into this match. Um, I'm gonna play with the rumors a little bit with my pick here. Um, Apparently, Vince wants Eva Marie to have a muscle type figure with her, so she doesn't have to really wrestle. She just kind
Uh-huh.
of shows up, looks pretty, and somebody else does all the work. Um, I could, I mean, I know they've got a handful of names that are apparently being tossed around not Mercedes Martin. Raquel Gonzalez is a badass. Like, she didn't really do a whole lot for a while, and then all of a sudden, every match she has been great for like 6 months now.
Yeah.
Um, I could see them calling both her and Dakota Kai up to kind of round out a trio to join Eva Marie. So I'm gonna go against the grain here and say that Ember Moon gets the belt back.
Hmm. They could call this new group with Eva Marie's Riot Squad with 2 T's. That's a
And
new idea. I
just
give
throw
it
Liv
to
Morgan in there too.
you. Yeah,
She
no,
didn't. While I'm thinking
I'm
about it,
sorry.
Liv Morgan didn't get released, did she?
No,
So
no,
what the
she's still
hell
there.
are they gonna do with her now?
Liv Morgan's on Total Divas, so you gotta keep her
Oh,
around.
I guess now that you've got Carmella playing the role that Lana left,
Mm,
you can put Liv Morgan back into the old Staten Island Carmella mold, and then
yeah.
then it's not like having two of the same thing anywhere. This was
uh,
all just to get Carmella in there. That's why Lana got cut.
let's see. Who's also apparently the most beautiful woman in WWE? Is that how she's being billed? But that's a story for another podcast.
That's a
Um,
story Corey Graves is pushing.
um, let's. I kind of feel like we were talking about how like Ember Moon got hot shotted up the main roster. Whether or not she's going to be the muscle for Eva Marie or not, or yeah, Eva Marie. I do feel like there's a very strong chance that Ember Moon is going to get her second reign here, and Raquel is. I mean, when I saw Raquel and how tall she was and how like dominant she was and decent on the mic as well, like she's like she's her days are numbered in NXT ultimately.
Yeah.
There's no way Vince is not going to see her and not want to push her up to the main roster. So I think it could be sooner than later. They could even try to hot shot her into some SummerSlam program. So yeah, I'll go with
Oh,
Ember as well.
I completely forgot that Ripley and Gonzalez had that last woman standing match at New Year's Evil. I
Oh,
could see them just throwing her straight into a run against Rhea Ripley on the main card. That
yeah.
would eventually just always be triple threat matches with Charlotte Flair in there. But all right, let's move on to our main event. The the
Is it the actual main event or is it the triple main event of the evening?
this is the clusterfuck at the top of the card.
Okay.
Um, Cross versus Cole versus Dunn versus Gargano versus O'Reilly.
Ah,
The only thing missing here is them deciding last minute to throw Balor into this match. Um,
and
I
Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, Charlotte Flair, the new NXT Heavyweight Champion. Um, I'm truthfully, the fact that half these guys are still in NXT is shocking to me.
Yeah.
um, so I don't know how this match will play out. I mean, NXT does a lot of things really well, and Shawn Michaels books the shit out of these like multi-man matches. But it's this one felt like it kind of needed the ladder. Um,
Yeah.
to add that level of like buy guys some time to rest and things. um I don't really know. Let me think about it. What have you got here?
I mean, so we're definitely going to have somebody going through a table, probably Cross at some point. So he'll take a breather for some amount of time there. And then I don't know. Like they'll be weapons because at least it's a 5-way match. So like someone's gonna bring out some weapons. Someone's gonna do it. I think to some degree there will be some team ups on Cross, just kind of like they do with Brock Lesnar to like kind of put him down. I do feel like Cross is gonna retain here. I think it's somewhat like a Brock Lesnar situation where they're gonna kind of book him as a powerful monster, and it's gonna take a lot to put him down. But I think it's ultimately, although they're going to team up against him, I feel like this is how this is going to go. They're going to team up against him. but there's going to be an ultimate point where that falls apart, and then Cross will capitalize on that. So, and take off whoever's the weakest, which I'm not entirely sure who that person is.
I mean, at this point, the guy that's been booked into that spot is Gargano. Um, it's also weird to me that he lost his other title and the next week was instantly put into a championship match. Um, so,
Yeah, I think
whatever.
maybe Gargano is the one that eats the pin, and he kind of goes a little nuts afterwards. I could see that happening.
Um, I mean, I really don't know. I can see like Adam Cole and O'Reilly taking each other out of this match entirely and not even factoring in by the end. Um, I think inevitably. I think it comes down to Cross and Pete Dunne. Um, shit,
Yeah,
I'm gonna pick Pete Dunne.
I
Um,
mean that would be awesome. I love
I
Pete Dunne.
I Karrion Cross is another one of those that like I don't think he's long for the black and gold brand. Um, I it hell, I've actually picked everybody to lose their belts on this one. Um, but I, I'm going to go with Pete Dunne. It would shock the hell out of me if it actually was, but he's even when he eats losses, they book him like a superstar. I don't think he's going to go to the main. I mean, he popped up on Raw like once. I think
Yeah.
because they were in England, but
Mm.
I I don't see Karrion Cross being long for the brand. It'll be kind of like Keith Lee's title reign. Um,
Yeah.
it's kind of a quick, here's a belt for a few weeks. Vince actually pays attention to who has the belt, and then you're moving on.
Mm.
Um, 'Cause
It's
I could you could throw him straight into a program with either one of the current champions on the main card, and I'd be okay with it.
I miss Pete Dunne with the title just drag like in his mouth like with that I miss that, so I'll take it for sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely on board, and like I said, I think Karrion Cross. His entrance is cool as shit. I mean, it's 4 days long. It's an
Yeah.
Undertaker WrestleMania entrance. Even Hulu has picked up on how long it is, and they've started editing it out. Um, so I think he gets called up pretty soon, and I really think that he makes a run at whichever champion. There's not a John Cena or whoever coming for at SummerSlam.
Yeah. Uh, well, I think the only thing that really is going to happen is Vince is going to see Poppy, and then Poppy is going to be like the host of SummerSlam, like co-hosted with Cardi B or whatever. It's going to be SummerSlam with
He's
Cardi B and Poppy.
he's going to randomly book Poppy into an intergender match or a
Yeah.
mixed tag match with Pat McAfee against somebody just to capitalize before McAfee decides he doesn't want to be on the road.
They're gonna have some kind of weird Cena apology match where he has to wrestle to determine whether Taiwan is a country or not. Um, okay, so we're now banned in China for for even referencing this. Anyway,
Good with it.
yeah. All right, man. Well, we'll watch Takeover, and we'll be back with our reactions to that next week. You got
One,
anything final
yeah,
add?
one quick thing of note for listeners that have stuck with us this long. If you didn't watch NXT this week, you don't have to watch the whole thing. Obviously, it was a bunch of filler just to get us through till In Your House. I do highly recommend watching the Oni Lorcan and Austin Theory match that opened the show. It
Oh yeah,
was
that was good.
fantastic. Um, I've seen Austin Theory at a number of little indie shows. I mean, he's from Atlanta, like the Atlanta area. So I saw him a bunch on little shows. He's great, and that match finally let him just kind of wrestle a match that didn't have to be goofy or have dumb gimmick shit to it. He just got to work, and Oni Lorcan has proven he's a badass.
Yeah, nice. Well, That's a good recommendation of the week, and we'll be back soon with the reaction to In Your House.